Greetings, Rogue Dragon here, and I got something brand new here from Troll Lord Games. Ernst Gary Gyxax Jr.'s The Hobby Shop Dungeon Marmoreal Tomb. 1E. So you can use this with any OSR game, but it's made for 1E. So his father, Gary Gyxax, came up with first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. This is something new that he came out with, and it's a massive campaign. Massive campaign. Lots of stuff in here. Okay. Wow. Okay. So this is campaign starter, the Underworld. Troll Lord Games, who does Castles and Crusades. Gary Gyxax worked there, and they started Castle and Crusades, kind of an evolution of 1E AD&D. So we have different environments here underground, and we have bestiary new monsters and appendices. Okay. Welcome to the Underworld expansion of the Marmoreal Tomb campaign starter. This work is part of a trio of volumes starting with the Marmoreal Tomb game module, also dubbed the core module, which presents a complete adventure site. The ruins of Grun-Galeb, a colony of dwarves in a region of the earth called the Bitter Peaks. It presents the Viper Head Pass and the Iridian Vale around it, as well as the underground levels under the abandoned settlement, the burial vaults and crypts of the stone giants of Actum. The second volume of this trio is the Wilderness expansions to Marmoreal Tomb, which describes the world region around the Marmoreal Tomb, including the Lower Midlands and Viscountcy of Poi. It includes a fully detailed village and inn and tavern, as well as templates and game aids to help run games of exploration of the wilderness around the dungeon and within the world of the Dunesmere and the earth. Okay, so this is not Greyhawk. This is, I'm supposing the earth is the planet and the Dunesmere is the continent. All right, you hold the third volume in your hands. Okay. So, we got extended burial vaults. Hearth of Chaos describes the dungeon level built by Orm Heb. Province of the Shokojumi details the area around Chicano Castle and the lake of Gunlibaba. This guy likes to make up names. He's good at it. Chapter 4, the Metafluid Shrine, presents the interdimensional space within the wooden pagoda that can be found in the Hearth of Chaos. All right. Chapter 5, the Hive World of Ur-Shammath contains a gazetteer-like description of the Hive World itself. A strange and unique landscape that not only adds a dose of zany exoticism to the tomb and Hearth of Chaos, if there wasn't enough already, it also lays out a contained world, and regions which together can be used as their game setting and campaign. Okay. So, let's see. Area map summary. The Marmoreal Tomb and its two expansions follow a fairly traditional method of room and area numberings, allocating numbers and sometimes letters or sub-numbers to main areas. Okay. And the Wilderness expansion, as mentioned above, the Wilderness expansion of the Marmoreal Tomb is meant to add context and material around the Viper Head Pass proper. It describes the Lower Midland, its people, patrons, figures, and factions, The area's notes in the region are, as in a gazetteer format, introduces a village of Crom Camelot, meant to serve as a home base to the adventuring parties around the tomb, as well as the twin tanker to complete inn. That can serve as an alternate home base and be placed wherever the referee desires on the campaign map. Also included are the generic outdoor maps, which is a recreation of one of the very first maps used for role-playing games. Here it is used to simulate the shades of the earth and pocket plains around the Midlands. 3 generic Midlands hexes can be used to set random encounters in the wilderness or develop other locations in the passage vicinity. So, basically we got a master campaign. We got the first book, which is the campaign. Then we got this, which is another campaign. And then we have another book, which is for hex crawling, when we want to go from place to place. So this year alone, that's the underworld there. There's some maps here, but there's maps separate. So the complete maps aren't in the book. So we got about 250 pages. We got about 250 pages here. That's a lot of stuff, lots of stuff. All right. Okay, here, the wilderness. And we have patrons, figures and factions. This is a primer to the Lower Midlands where we start. Figures and factions. Look at all this. Crom Camelot. And tunnels under Crom Camelot. The twin tanker, that's going to be our inn. Encounters. That'll be detailed more though in the monsters and characters. We have new monsters again. Hirelings, hireling extravaganza, all kinds of hirelings. Gnomes, dwarves, elves, half orcs, half humans. Okay. So chapter 1, Primer of the Lower Midlands, presents the setting of the Viscounty of Poi of the Lower Midlands, including people, languages, and general cosmology of the area. Patron worship, cities, towns, and special locations. Chapter 2, Figures and Factions, presents the main groups of aligned individuals and factions vying for control around the Marmoreal tomb in Viper Head. Okay, chapter 3. Crom Camelot is the name of a completely detailed village. Well, that's the village, okay, which can serve as the player character's main campaign and base of operations. Also includes a description of the tunnels under the town. So there's a dungeon just under the town where we start as well. Okay, the twin tanker describes a full inn and tavern that can be placed anywhere in the Midlands. Has a staff of retired adventurers. Okay. The outdoors. That's your encounters in the wilderness, including a recreation of the outdoors map advised for use with the original 1974 rules of the game, but cleaned up and laid out to be compatible with its use from the get-go. Okay. The original 1974, they say the game, the original 1974 Dungeons and Dragons. All right, so this is a great, detailed campaign setting right here. This is the whole thing. Like I said, we have maps separate. There's some of them in the books. That's Crom Camelot, so that's our little starting village there. And then we got all these maps for the Marmoreal tomb. And here's a map of the area, I guess. And just like Greyhawk, just like his father, he's got the different shields. These are the different areas you're in, the different bearings, who controls these different areas. Right. So this here is going to be Marmoreal Tomb. So basically we'll be using this to start. This will be our campaign. And maybe we'll go to the Marmoreal Tomb, or maybe we'll do some side quests. Who knows what will happen with such a huge setting. And then we'll do this adventure. Then after you do that, you do book 3 adventure. These things should be numbered, that would be nice. But I got it figured out. Okay. So this is Marmoreal Tomb appendices. Special rules, monsters and characters. All that stuff. They gotta use a separate book for this. Okay. Because this book here has the wilderness and the tomb in it. This is going to be the appendices. I get it. Oh no, I'll take that back. That was the appendices. The tomb basics are outlined in the wilderness book. And then the Marmoreal Tomb itself, the game module, is right here. Good Lord, look at all this stuff. Okay. Remember, this is an unboxing. I haven't really checked this out yet. The dungeon shop, okay. The story of the Stonecutter Dwarves. And then we have Library Pass, Environment Cave System, Caleb, Burial Vaults, and the Crypts. So I think what we have here is going to be a huge dungeon. Here's some maps here we can look at. So there's some hexes, hex maps. So I think the maps are separate. They're not in here. There's decent artwork in here. This is good artwork, and it looks like, it looks like 1E. This is for 1E, and the artwork looks very 1E. The black and white, and just the way it's done. Okay. All right, so we got 3 books. We got dungeon, second dungeon. We got our town and hex crawl, and we got appendices. So many appendices that they have to go into a separate book. Oh shoot! All right, let's stay up there. There we go. Sorry, guys. There we go. All right. So here, this must be an important areas of the hex crawl, since we have big blown up hexes. And then we have this is like If it's underground or something. The combs. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there we go. It's folded up. So here we have more hex maps. Environs and cave system. And then here we have burial vaults. Okay. And then we have more hexes. Tomb hex, hex tunnels, Iridian Veil. Man, this is so nice and complete. When I think about some of the stuff the Troll Lords have done for Castle of the Crusades, it doesn't have maps. And this is so nice. Level 1, the Tomb of Garn Patur. Okay, and there's a Meneflua shrine, and there's that thing we have maps of that was in the middle, the coon, the cone. And then we saw this in the book. This is a side view map of the dungeon. This is made really sturdy here too. Okay. Twin tanker, okay, that's our inn. Twin tankered attic. Okay. Shokodrumi area map. Shokodrumi. Okay, so that must be one of our important areas. Level 3 for the Marmoreal Tomb. This is a massive, massive dungeon. And then we have Marmoreal Tomb, the ancient temple. Okay. The tunnels of Crom Gamelock. So this is the tunnel that were the village. These are the tunnels underneath the village. Lobbies have dungeon outdoors. Okay, so this must be like the whole area we're in. Or, oh no, these maps connect together, I think. So Viscounty Poi in Lower Midlands. Now this is more of a close-up. This is the whole area. This is the Viscounty Poi. This is our village, Crom Gamelock. Whoa, a level 2 Marmoreal Tomb, another huge map. Wow. So this is going to be something that's going to be just ongoing. Once we start it, it will be ongoing. You know, it's not something that you finish, that you can complete. From Gyxax, Gary Gyxax's son. Thank you so much for this. This looks awesome. Please give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.